And here we go. Well. So I have the beautiful Deborah Bond. Yes, I managed to snag her. She's been all over the ship, working, networking, establishing even more musical relationships. So thank you for taking the time to sit down with me for a few minutes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I can't wait to interview you on the show.
Yes.
So it's a two-part question.
Okay.
And the first part of the question is, what is the most valuable advice that you've been given that you followed?
Most valuable? That's a good one. Advice that I've been given that I've followed.
Yes, because we get advice all the time.
All the time. There's a couple of things. Probably the number one, which is to me very cliche, just learning the music business. And I've just started to really take that seriously, and I've had enough advice from several people to realize that's some serious advice. So I have taken that advice. I continue to use that advice. And then the one that's a little more on an organic level is just being aware of who's in your musical collective. Not always having yes men per se, people that tell you you're really good all the time because they're just so happy to be around you and they tell you everything you do is magnificent, because you do need to have folks that can keep it real with you and help you grow and push you. So I've definitely taken that advice to make sure that I have people that are balanced around me and that really fit my energy and my spirit. Because the more that you have the right folks around you in your circle doing business, traveling, performing with you, the stronger the experience is and the more you can even bless and heal other people. So
great.
I definitely take that one seriously, to be very aware of who is in your personal space and who's in your collective.
It's great advice. Great advice. And the second part of the question is, so in terms of being able to offer advice to the next generation of artists, can you give me 3 words of advice that you can, or 3 tips that you can give those that are watching the show that need to be blessed, that need to be inspired, motivated? Like, how do I get to the next level? What would your advice be?
The number one thing I would start with is the self-identification, like understanding who you are as an artist. The earlier you begin to figure that out, and the earlier you begin to take tactics to try to figure that out, meaning one of the big things I tell people that I give coaching to is to tell me about who they dreamt of being like. Start with your dreamy side, your fantasy side, like who you wish to be, and then kind of do an assessment of like who you are versus that, and kind of find this bridge. But it really is important to have some kind of personal self-identification and get very comfortable in your skin, whether your skin is naturally quirky, whether it's very boss and very serious, whatever it is own it and be sure of it, and kind of let go of too many of other voices trying to identify for yourself. That is not an easy journey, and it usually takes a while for any artist or any person in any kind of creative business to understand their own special uniqueness. But once you start to get a taste of it and you just keep scooping it up and tasting it, all the flavors that you let out yourself become beautiful, and your confidence really goes up. So that's number one.
Great.
Find a mentor. Have a mentor. Just find someone in the business. They may not be like me finding Beyonce to be my mentor, but find someone that you can at least say, this person has had much more experience than me. They can provide me with knowledge and insight, and they can help guide me. They can teach me about their own path and mistakes and lessons, and stay with them if you can. Really seek mentorship. That's number 2. And then number 3 would be, I already mentioned the business. Remember to enjoy the ride. It can get kind of hard. It can test your emotional stability and your mental strength and your physical strength. And sometimes when your mental isn't there, it plays a game with your physical. So I would definitely say take care of yourself and just be aligned with your mental spirit, and realize that this business is going to have ups and downs. And the more you're grounded, whether it means having a certain faith, or just being, close to like your family and people that were there before you got into the business, do whatever you can to keep that very guarded and protected and sacred, because the business can shake it up from so many different directions. So keep that mental straight and that emotion straight. Find yourself a mentor, and enjoy the ride.
Thank you so much. That's great advice. Yeah. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for listening.
And we'll see you on the show real soon.
See you on the show, yes.